First date experience plus splitting bills. A few days ago, I, 19F, went on a first date with a guy, 21M, that I met on a dating app. He actually asked me if I want to meet up with him within 2 days of getting matched and talking for a day, which was sort of fast and unexpected for me. He took a train to my city, around 30-minute train ride from his, and asked me to meet at the train station instead of at a restaurant or STH. I know he may have suspicions about first-time meeting, but the weather was freezing. We walked from there and went to a couple of places before having lunch at a cafe. He took me to different places one by one, although he said he hasn't been to my city yet, so I just followed him, lol. As it's an initial meeting, there were some awkward pauses in between, but we generally conversed well and naturally. After a while, I was really full, giant toast, so I asked if he'd like it as I couldn't finish it. He said sure, and I just put it on his plate, so basically he agreed to have my leftover 0.0. Then the waitress came to get the bill, looked at both of us if we want to pay together or split the bill. There was a 5 to 6 second pause. I felt awkward, so I said we'll split it first, followed by him. It was around 19 pounds. Mind you, we are both Asian and are uni students, so I understood the situation. I'm first year, he's final year. There's that. We continue to hang out at a few arcade spaces afterwards. He paid for it next, around 18 pounds, and I asked if we're splitting that. He said let's do it later. Then went on to another game. This time I said I'm paying for the game, around 7 pounds, and he didn't say anything. Our chemistry seemed good throughout the day. He also asked me how many other guys I'm talking to in that app and said I could be honest with him. I said 5 to 10, the truth, but then he said I'm just the only one he got matched, followed up with the reason that guys don't get as many matches as girls. I just laughed it off cuz like how to react or know if he's telling the truth or not. Finally, we got to the restaurant for dinner and asked me if the place was within my budget after we made reservation earlier that day. I have never dined at fancy places as a student, so I just said I don't have one. He also ordered most of the things he wanted to eat, and then asked what I wanted, lol. Dinner served, bill came. Prices were ridiculous tbh for my standards, around 23 pounds each. He then said he's glad that I agreed to split the bill because it's only our first time, which I also understood, but still felt weird why he would take me to a fine dining restaurant for the first date. He also said he'll send me the bank details later. That was so awkward for me. He said he either wants to split bill or take turns. I had to leave due to schedule conflicts soon afterwards, and I expected him to send me back home, only 10 minutes walk to my place, but instead he ushered me out of the restaurant and said bye. I felt so embarrassed by this. Later in our DM, I just asked him to send the bill costs. I was already put off by what happened and wanted to take care of that ASAP. We just happened to split the meals and didn't talk about the arcade fees. No one brought it up after that. He said he really enjoyed that day and asked me if I'm interested for a second date in his city next time. I don't know what to do. Female friends in my social circle of Asian uni friends, my norm, say it's usually the guy who paid for their first dates and took care of it. The guy was okay, I guess. Some aspects are a bit fishy as it's a first date, but when it comes to financial matters in the long term, I know I have to be more vocal and upfront about it. My social circle suggests I ghost the guy. Manner-wise, he seems like a gentleman, which is surface level for any guy, right? Finance is the only concern for me. Currently, I just told him I'm not sure yet for the next date. Thanks for reading until here, and what do you guys think? How do I even know if he likes me or not? What would you do if you were me? Can you spot any red or green flags? Edit. From the dating app, he asked for my number instead of IG, so we exchanged numbers only. So far, we don't have each other's IG maybe. I don't want to initiate this, so I just leave it be for now. He said he didn't post on IG much and just watched Reels, so that was his answer when I asked what social media he uses. How do I know if he's telling the truth or not? Should I be concerned?